Before we all have a complete meltdown over the title of this video, let me explain two things first. One, it's not clickbait. And two, yes, I absolutely voted for Hillary. So now that you all are even more confused, let's chat. Now that I've had a few hours to kind of let reality sink in and kind of have some time to process what just happened, I felt like it was really important to just sit down and talk and verbalize my thoughts and opinions for several reasons, but mainly I think that many people have been silent for too long. So I have a lot of issues and ideas and thoughts about what just happened in this presidential election, and I'd really like to discuss them and open up the opportunity for us all to talk about it and really kind of open our minds and maybe not just think about what everyone's discussing right now. So yes, I absolutely, of course, voted for Hillary. After hearing the outcome of the elections, I was angry, fearful, and confused about the mindset of our country. I'm sure like most of you were as well. But at the same time, not only am I a very positive person, I'd like to believe, I also am such a firm believer in the fact that you aren't defined by what happens to you, but how you react to it. So after the shock wore off a little bit, I had time to kind of think to myself and speak with friends and family and really try to get a grasp for all this and put a positive spin on it. So that is why this is titled that I'm glad Trump won. I think that Trump winning brings up a lot of really important issues that may not have been focused on if Hillary were to win. Now, don't get me wrong, I think we would all be better off if Hillary was in office right now. I am absolutely terrified of what is to come in these next 4 years, and I pray and hope and just wish on everything that I can that things are going to be okay. However, I also think Trump winning brings up some really important issues that otherwise may not have been discussed, so I think it's time we discuss them. First, I think this is a huge wake-up call for everyone. We are not done fighting for our rights. We are not done with sexism, racism, everything, any discrimination of any minority or honestly anyone who's not a white male is not over. We have a lot of issues we still need to work out, and things are not okay, and they're not even close to being okay. We need to come together. I have been so lucky to talk to so many different types of people today and to hear their thoughts on everything. And honestly, I think having Trump win is kind of just bringing all of these minority groups together and banding us together to fight for equality rather than having these subdivisions all fighting for our own rights. We're ready to just go at it and show the world that this is not okay and it is not right to put someone in office who thinks these awful, horrible, terrible things about so many humans. I think we like to consider America as a very progressive and open-minded country, and even some would say accepting, and it's just not, and that's the reality of it. But we're gonna fight for that, and we are going to make that be our reality. So for those of you who care about women, minorities, and just the overall well-being of humans, you better buckle up because we have a lot of work to do. The second important issue I think that's been raised from Trump winning, and I'm so sick of saying that and I feel nauseous every time I say it. It is so infuriating. But another issue that it brings up is that we're not listening to each other. As easy as it is for us to say anyone who supports Trump must be an awful, racist, chauvinistic asshole, that can't be true. I know good people who unfortunately did vote for Trump. So why did they vote for Trump? They're not just doing it because they don't like black people or gay people or want this and that. There has to be more reasons behind it. And I feel like during this whole election, we weren't taking the time to understand each other and listen to each other and see each other's views. How can you persuade one another? How can you make a change if you're not willing to understand each other's thought processes? I'm a firm believer in that everyone is inherently good. We just have different viewpoints and ideas of what that good is. And I think we just ignored everyone who had these different views and chalked them up as crazy and unimportant and unintelligent and uneducated and ignorant and just all of these things. And we just thought, nope, the good people are gonna outweigh the bad. But I think the reality is this wasn't a good versus evil kind of thing. It was a difference of opinions thing that we just never cared to understand each other. Clearly, there are a lot of unhappy people with the way America is run. I mean, I think the majority of people are unhappy with that. And unfortunately, so many people were so upset and wanted so much change that they were willing to put in a terrible person to fix things. That's scary. But rather than ignoring that, why don't we try to understand why people are feeling this way so we can fix it without going the route of putting this terrible human in the Oval Office? We are all different and we all have different problems, and no one person's problem is bigger than another's. However, we're all going to feel that our problems are more important. We can't keep ignoring each other and just not caring about what our opinions are on topics just because they don't match our own. We need to get to know each other and we need to understand each other so we can come together and make everything better for everyone. I have talked to many people that I agree with things on, that I disagree with things on, that I've changed their mind, they've changed mine. I even have friends where I agree with most things and they say things that I disagree with, and that's okay. I was talking to friends that were saying, we just need to realize that our country is divided, that there are these sections that think one way and sections that think another way, and we just need to separate the two. That might sound great in theory, but that would make everything so much worse. Not only would those separated areas find something new to not agree on, no one grows and changes by being around like-minded people. We learn about ourselves, we learn about others, we change our minds, we become more intelligent by surrounding ourselves and learning about people who aren't like us. Running away from people just because they're different is no way to fix any problems. And I think the third and definitely not final big topic that this whole thing raised is that we need to start caring earlier. And by earlier, I mean all the time. We cannot treat this like the fucking Super Bowl and just all of a sudden care about who wins the game at the last leg of it. It doesn't make any sense. We need to care from the beginning because that's when it really matters and that's when we have a lot of say in it. And I am not sitting here saying I'm not guilty of any of these things. I just have learned and come to understand a lot this past day reflecting on everything. Not only did we wait to care about Trump versus Clinton until the very end and we just ignored the news and got sick of talking about it and sick of hearing it, we didn't even care as much as we should during the primaries. And even before that, we need to take it back to the very start. We need to care about local government. The earlier we start to care and earlier we start to understand who is in charge, the more power we have. So many individuals say, we had no good choice. We had to pick the lesser of two evils. Well, who's at fault for that? We are. We need to take some ownership. We need to stop complaining, stop being angry, and stop being pissed off of how everything went down and take ownership and make a change. So I know you guys are all so sick of hearing about the election even before the outcome came out, and even more sick now that what happened did happen. And I know we all just want to move on, but we can't. We need to take a stand. We need to wake the fuck up and realize that we need to make a difference. And it needs to start now. It needs to start sooner, and we need to start caring so much more. So insert corny, inspirational, punny slogan here. Or let's just take from this that we all need to start caring about each other a little bit more. I really hope we can discuss this more. I really hope we can educate each other and understand each other more, and most importantly, respect one another. You don't have to agree on views and beliefs, who someone is, what choices they make, but if you can learn to listen to them and respect them, everything will be so much better. So I would love to discuss this with you guys and not just myself, because I'm sure you all have some incredible things to input into this so we can continue this discussion. So please feel free to comment below so we can all talk about this. If you want to tweet me and talk about it too, go ahead there, or on Tumblr, whatever. I just think we need to keep this discussion open and not shut it for 4 years and then have the same complaints in another 4 years. Let's start making the change right now, and let's start with us. I love you all. Don't fear, don't be discouraged. Do not let this deter you from making a change and thinking that the world is just not a good place. There are so many incredible humans out there, and we will overcome this. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.